Now I'm gonna do a review on my absolute favorite gun. I love all of my guns, but this is by far my favorite. I've done almost every modification that's available to it. At least some form of each modification. The buttstock of the monopod. I did the AccuTrack tripod in the front. The Saber Tactical upper and lower rails, the extended upper rail that bolts onto here, which gives this rigidity and also holds the barrel steady here. The upper Swiss with the picatinny at the end for the bottom rail for the tripod, and then I put picatinny on the side, which connects the side forward and backward. So when I use the Excite, I can put the remote on this and I can move it, however far I want it from my trigger finger. I put the bigger tank, the 700cc. I put the slug power kit, the tungsten hammer, the slug pin probe, the pistol grip with the thumb rest. That's the Vortex scope. That's the scope I mainly use on it, other than the ATA. That's the FX Donny FL silencer. What else? I have 3 different calibers. Well, 2 right now. I ordered the 35 caliber for this, and I feel like the 35 caliber is a little big for this gun. And so I was starting to say in another video, I also ordered that in 800 millimeter with a carbon fiber shroud detention barrel kit. I don't think their tension barrel kit did not do me any good, especially with the it might have been the 35 caliber, I don't know if that's what it was, but what I did, well actually I did, because I bought the tension barrel kit prior to that, ended up returning it because my shots were off even in 25 caliber. And what I did is, when I was taking that off, I realized that this end cap underneath the suppressor that's in the end of the shroud that screws onto the threaded hollow nut that goes tightens the inner and outer barrel to the shroud. If you tap that a little farther down, then you can tighten the whole shroud right up to this clamp, which is the exact same clamp that comes with the tension barrel. You just tighten it. So it's tensioned here with the set screw, here with the clamp, here with the top rail, and again here, pulling the whole thing together. So this barrel is incredibly rigid, more so than this carbon fiber one that they saw. Way more, by far. And the thing is incredibly accurate. That's what I love about this gun. This is my go-to gun. Even though the 35 is going to be better for certain applications, but I have a 30 caliber coming for this instead of the 35. So I swapped it out with the 30. I think the 30 will be more reasonable for this gun. But 25 and 22 are like flawless. I just did a 6-shot group right before I started the video. I'll do another one while I'm recording. And then I'll show you a little bit more about what I had to do to tension that barrel, so maybe somebody else that's looking to tension their barrel on their FX Impact will be able to do so. But honestly, if I had to recommend one gun out of all the guns that I've bought and that I own, that would by far be the one gun. Absolutely no question about it. So this is the 6-shot group that I just shot right before I started recording this. Right up top there, those are all 6 in that one hole, and then one separate hole that's almost all one hole. That's 6 shots. I'm gonna do that again so you can see it for yourself right now. What I'll do is I'll do it in the bottom of this target right here. And then, or maybe I'll do it up top. Maybe I'll do it in the dead center of that top one. So I'll have a fresh bullseye, and I'll zoom in up there. All right, so I'm gonna go for a dead center all the way on the right. Okay. So that's exactly the kind of demonstration I wanted anyone who's interested in the FX Impact to see, because that's the real potential of it. I mean, that's 10 shots. Every single one is in the center of that, and really you can only see 3 separate holes. So, and they're like incredibly close. It's all in that center diamond, which is 1 inch. So that's 10 shots, 50 yards, 1 inch. And that's 25 caliber. 22 caliber, I could make it even smaller. So you get the idea. And honestly, it's very easy to modify the gun. It's very, you can watch the FX masterclasses on YouTube, or I'm even going to demonstrate how to. This is not something they're going to show you because obviously they're promoting their tension barrel. But this barrel, when you take this shot, you know what? I'll show you my other one because I've done it on both of them. So here is your shroud, and this is the 22 caliber barrel. So I'm going to throw this out. So all you do is you release this set screw right here, and there's two 3 millimeter Allen keys on that clamp, and then that one Allen key right there is the same size. And if you have this top rail, these two are 4 millimeter, and then that comes off, which also tensions it at another point. And that's it. Then you can slide the barrel right out, and this is what you get after you take the shroud off, just the hollow barrel. Now inside of these, on both of these two, I did the carbon fiber sleeve, the liner, and those are on both of these. It's epoxied it's epoxied to the inner liner, and then the inner liner is just set into this because the tolerances are so tight you really don't need anything else. So then this thread here has 2 flat ends where you can use an open end wrench, and that's tightened down to the inner barrel, right? So that's tightened down to the inner barrel. Then I used the CNC and I made a tool so I could loosen this end piece. I might actually have to grab it because there's two little holes. So I just cut a piece. It was actually a chisel. I cut a rounded thing into it and left those two things to plunge in and turn it, which I'll do right now. I'll show you. Okay, so this end piece right here can thread out. And now on the inside of this part is threaded. This part threads onto this, right, with the shroud over it. This is all just lead. I need to clean it up. So this never ends up going all the way down, or it goes all the way down here, but because you can't, so once you can tighten this farther into that, you deepen these threads here. So the threads that are coming from the barrel, from the inner barrel tensioning nut, this nut right there, they can thread as far as I want to go into here, as far as it can go into here. So that gives me the ability to put this on, and then when I slide this down, it's going to go all the way to that clamp. So I'm going to put this all the way in with the slug side down. Then I'm going to set the set screw, and once the set screw is set, I'm going to tighten these two on the clamp. And then this is going to not be on yet, right? So I'm going to set those two on the clamp. Then I'm going to slide this right down to the clamp, which is going to be roughly, this will be here, this will be here, right about there. So now when I put this in here, this is going to thread on the inside, and it's going to thread on that middle bolt, and it's also going to thread in the tip here. But now when I tighten this all the way down, it's going to be hitting this clamp before it actually gets all the way. So you see how, if you look closely, this one has a slight little gap. This one has a small gap. That's because it's not all the way closed like it would have been when you got it, because when you originally get it, it's completely tightened down because the threads won't go down any further to make it tight to the clamp. So essentially, you have a tension barrel kit already. All you need to do is know how to make threads. And it's, if you know anything about, I mean, if you're pressing slugs and you work with metal like that, then this should be very simple. It was very simple for me, and that's the type of stuff that I like to do. So if you're mechanically inclined, it should be very simple, or ask a friend who is. If I knew you and you were close by, I would do it for you. It's very easy, and it makes a huge difference between that. The carbon fiber liner that they make is tremendous. It makes a huge difference. To me, it did. I'm a nut for precision, and I went all out making that gun as precise as I could. And as you can see, it's paid off. It's paid off at the expense of, I've got about $6 grand into that gun, but it was worth it to me. It's a hobby that I enjoy, and it was worth it to me. And FX doesn't pay me. I didn't get this gun for free. I didn't get this gun for a discount. I paid full price. I bought all this stuff myself, all the accessories. Everything is there. It's actually all bought from different places. I mean, it's the Saber Tactical stuff. I don't think I bought anything actually from Saber Tactical. Maybe one of them, I don't know. It was all over the place. The cheek riser also. I got it all over the place. PRS buttstock I got online somewhere. It came from out of the country, but I don't have any bias to any of these companies. I mean, they all make great stuff, and I don't have any reason not to favor them. Like obviously, I have a liking for FX, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased towards them. But at the same time, they're selling a tension barrel kit that you already have. If you're going to use another 700 millimeter, the only gain would be the extra 100 millimeters, and they don't sell that with a regular shroud. I've already tried to get it because I don't know why, because they probably know, you know, that I'm not really sure. Maybe they didn't intend on making 800 millimeter barrels, so they didn't make the proper size shroud for them. They just made the carbon fiber sleeve. That's probably honestly the truth. I'm just guessing, but that makes the most sense. But if you have an FX Impact with a 7.6 500 millimeter barrel, I don't know for a fact on on the 6 and the 5. I only have the 700 millimeters. I didn't get anything shorter. But I'm assuming it's probably the same thing. It's probably just a shorter barrel, shorter shroud, and everything else is the same. Because FX seems to be pretty universal. They're incredibly diverse as far as accessories and even internal upgrades. It's so accessible. It's all over the place, and it's really, if you like to work on your stuff, it's a perfect gun for you. And if you like precision, it's really a perfect gun for you, as I just demonstrated. So those are the reasons why that's my favorite gun and my go-to gun. Anytime I'm gonna grab a gun, when I go outside and shoot a squirrel, when I go outside and you know, whatever I'm using it for, it's that gun that I grab. Unless I see a you know, a deer or some rabid raccoon or something, I'll grab the 357. But that's my go-to gun for the most part, and definitely for any kind of target shooting, because nothing is that accurate. All right.